Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Whattup World Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, a.k.a. The Coco Kid. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, pretty much fucking everywhere. To the right of me, as always, Shawn Santos.
What it do?
And then to the left of me,
it's Fred. You can follow me at all platforms at Big Head Fredo. Fred.
Big Head Fredo.
I keep forgetting. I changed everything, but yeah.
Big Head Fred.
Yep, because I have a big head.
Yeah,
I thought it was Fredo.
It was, and then remember, because I had Big Head Fred and then Big Head Fredo, so I changed it all to Big Head Fred. So
you just looked at that Play-Doh toy back in the day. You used to squeeze down, and the hair would just like come out like that. That's exactly what you look like.
What you look like, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I used to get joked at a kid that I look like Sid the Science Kid.
That's a reference I don't get. I don't think I get
it either.
I don't get it. Sid Science Kid.
We weren't that, I guess, nerd.
No, Sid the Science Kid's like a kid cartoon that was around when I was out. It was like Coco Mello.
So it was like 6 years ago when you were a kid?
No, I don't know.
I'm just playing Fred. God damn it.
I'm texting my wife real quick.
All right, let's just all just go to their phones real fast.
No, just real fast.
I'm gonna put it up there, but that's Sid the Science Kid.
Oh yeah, that's total blackfacing in animation, isn't it?
Oh, you kind of do actually.
I like how they make him like a darker yellow.
I use a red hoodie, and then that's you. Yeah.
They're like, damn, you look like Sid the Science Kid, and I'm just like,
awesome. I bet that hurt back in the day. That was a good score.
No, because I watched it. It was actually a dope little show.
Okay. That wasn't one of the kids shows I watched, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anything that referenced black people, I was like, next.
I'm still tired from last night.
Dude, last night was dope.
It's fucking lit. Yeah. Son, we had the time of our lives. If you guys didn't show up, that's okay. We have more shows coming up. But, yeah, we killed Haltom City. That was great.
What are the next dates for Haltom Theater?
Let me pull up my dates because I have to write them down. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you got so many, man.
I do. Look.
This dude right here.
Legit. It's August 19th is already done, so we got August 26th. That's the dive on 75, 15-minute set. And then I have September 3rd back in Haltom City for 20 minutes up. And then September 14th, I'll be at Haltom for 10. August 24th, I'm doing a hip-hop show. And then September 30th, I'm at the Look Cinema.
Yeah, okay. The hip-hop show. Are you doing hip-hop?
No. I'm just going to handle
God.
the door because I'm not... I'll give you this much. I'm talented at comedy, but when it comes to hip hop, I'm not that guy.
It's like I got mom's spaghetti all over my sweater.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not. It's not gonna go as good as you want it to.
You just go rip 8 Mile the whole time.
Right.
Like, wait a second.
Gonna start biting other fucking artists and stealing their shit.
You're gonna. Was it Carlos Mencina, the rap world?
Yeah, exactly. Did you see that podcast he did with
Yes, it pissed me off. Where he still denies it.
Yeah, he's still denying it, and even though he's been called out by multiple different comedians,
by multiple different comedians,
and also he's still denying. He's like, well, then I apologize, but you guys didn't give me any specifics. Like, how many specifics do you need?
Like Louis C.K.,
multiple
Dane Cook,
fucking times. Like,
George Lopez, fucking.
I love how Bobby Lee was just sitting there, just like calling him out on all his bullshit.
He's like,
and
really?
Even though they're boys too, like that's the crazy part. It's like they're boys. Like it's like if me and you are gonna be there, and I'm just like, yeah, but Shawn, you know you did it. Like, come on.
But bro,
but he's just like, bro, but just give me specifics. Like,
yeah, man. Like, tell me what I did.
On, man. You knew what the fuck you did. And the thing is you weren't even stealing jokes from well-known comedians. You were taking open micers, the people that are trying to get on. They're like, oh, that sounds good. I'm gonna take that premise and make it my own shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, bruh, that's not cool. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, but yeah, think about it. Like, look at like Comedy Def Jam back in the day. You heard like 300 Michael Jackson jokes that were almost to the T the same.
That is true.
From multiple different
comics.
I'm
not saying that premises don't get copied and every now and then shit happens, but when it's a consistent basis of,
and when you're making millions doing it,
right, and then you're making millions doing it, then it becomes a problem.
It's like, whoa, bro, wait a second, that was my shit.
Yeah, because you're taking food out of somebody else's mouth. That's not cool.
Well, and Carlos Mencina's mind is like, well, they're not going to make it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because so few open micers make it. He thinks that he pulls off of those motherfuckers. Is like, oh, which one of them is going to make it?
To me, that's a shitty way to think about it.
It's a shitty person.
That's a shitty fucking person. I'll like through to the core of their being.
But do you realize that's how the 1% make it, right? They just like shit on everybody else.
But then look what happened. See, what goes up always comes down.
Well, you can't let Brown go that high up. That's why they pushed him down.
I think they pushed him down for a reason. Yeah. Because I honestly do think that once he got into the world, and he had writers behind him and shit, they realized, dude, you don't know how to write shit, do you? Like something's up. Yeah. And then I think they figured it out.
Well, look at Comedy Central. The Mind Mencina, like, that shit got canceled like almost immediately once everything was brought to light.
Right.
And I mean, like, you fucking deserve it, bro. You deserve it.
You step on the heads of people to get to where you are. You no longer have heads to step on. And now look at you.
Yeah.
All you do is fall. And that's exactly what you get.
And now you're on
I'm
a
not
podcast. Fucking.
I don't even know Carlos Mencia like that.
Yeah.
Like as a person, I don't know. He might be a cool dude. I have no idea. But what I will tell you this much is I've seen people like him, and I've seen what happens to him, and they get pushed out the game for doing shit just like that.
But you know what's funny is Addison Improv had a Halloween night where you get to dress up like old comics, and they wanted you to send in like who you wanted to be.
Yeah.
For the show, and I sent in to the guy that ran it. I was like, "Hey, I want to be Carlos Mencia," and he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to dress up like Carlos Mencia, but I'm gonna have a notepad and I'm writing everyone's shit down while they're doing their sets. And when I go on stage, I'm gonna take those jokes that I wrote down that I reword it my own and fuck them up and just do them like I try to steal jokes the whole time." And I literally, I'll show it to you later. I'll show you the response I got back from him. He was like, "Listen, man, we love Carlos Mencia now, and we don't want to portray his stuff from the past. We
Fuck out of here."
I was like, "Are you? It's a fucking comedy show, bro.
Right the fuck out
Like
of
the
here.
whole point is to portray celebrity comics and how they're stereotypes.
That's fucking lame.
It was
I just
stupid.
go as Bill Burr.
He
It's
laughed
easy-
at it. He
easy.
thought it was funny, but he was just like, "Yeah, we can't do that." I was because they booked
You
him.
do know it's Mencia, not Mencina, right?
I don't care.
Okay,
I don't care.
I don't know if you know that or not.
Like, you know what? Who again? Who is he? I'm gonna do what George
That part.
Lopez did to Ralph Barbosa. Who?
Yeah. Dick move, by the way.
Dude, that was. It was
Dick
you know
move.
what? It fucking right
Yeah.
there. It pushed him all the way up. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that clip that Ralph posted where it was like fucking the Tony Montana scene where he's like
Yeah.
just fucking shooting
I
George
saw
Lopez
that,
and
yeah.
shit. That shit was funny as fuck, man.
I love Ralph Barbosa. I like that guy.
Yeah, the most
And not
awkward,
just because
funny.
I met him, but because he's a really good comedian.
I mean, I've offered to suck his dick. I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah?
He said no, but you know, I still.
What a
offered.
shame.
You know?
Because you give such good head. I just
I
figured
do.
he,
That
maybe he just
that
doesn't
Becky
know
is
about
on
it.
point, you know
Maybe he
what I'm
doesn't
saying?
know about it.
He
Maybe that's
doesn't
the
know.
problem.
Hey, you don't know my story, Ralph?
You got 30 hours? I got you.
Oh, I got you, bro. I'll make you cry at the end of it.
Right.
And come. But
Oh, man. So, yeah, no, the Halton Theater was fun. You killed it. I
Yeah.
killed it. Mikey killed it.
I didn't mean to kill it, though. I fucking came to support. That was the whole fucked up part about that, Fred, was I came to support. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go sit in the crowd, you know?
Yeah.
And be there for my buddy because I'm, a ghost a lot. And he's like, hey, no, you're on. And by the way, you're opening.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked when he was like, "Wait, you don't know?" And you were just like, "No." I
No,
was like,
because he said
"Fuck."
10 minutes. And I thought you were completely just being
No, I
a
was
jokey
dead ass
joker.
serious.
And
He was like, okay.
oh yeah, and I went on to a cold crowd because originally that fucking little Ty's fucking Pennington mini version of his ass was fucking hosting, and you're like, oh, he's gonna do a little bit of time.
Because that's what I was told. I was told he was going to do time. So I was like, all right, well, you got time. You got 15. He's gonna
He
do it
had
now.
to have time to power up, because he's a little
Right.
guy. So like he waited for you guys to go.
His
And then
batteries
he-
were still charging.
I had to fucking light him. Like, bro, you're taking everyone's time. Shut the fuck up. I went to all the comics. They're like, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, because he was up there for a while.
Yeah, it happens, dude. I've had to do it a couple times. A few special people.
Okay.
I had to bring them off stage because they took too much time.
You know what we need? We need a Sandman.
Mm.
At every fucking comedy
That's what I
event
was
needs a
thinking.
Sandman.
Well, it's just about form. There's a format. There's like a courtesy to these things. Like you have to know how the process works in these shows.
Well,
and-
they're new to hosting stuff, so they don't really know
really?
the show etiquette.
Well, that's
that
where they
much.
should have just got someone to host.
I agree. I've said that.
I didn't know they were new. I thought they were like season.
They
12 or
do.
something.
Well, no, they do rap shit. They don't
Yeah.
really do comedy that much.
okay.
So they get up
But
there
I
and
love
spit.
the guys.
Yeah.
They're cool as shit. It's not. It's just I think that the way that everything is presented is a
Right.
little off. Like the intermissions, we don't do intermissions at
Yeah.
comedy shows.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. That
That's
might
why
be a
people
rap
don't come
thing.
back.
But yeah,
so,
because then you see
a few
people up and leave.
A few people left. Yeah,
Yeah,
a few people.
because they're just like, dude, this is dragging on, and the headliner still haven't came on, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna leave now.
Yeah, and the headliner himself was almost done with the show.
Yeah, he was ready to walk, and I was like, don't walk, just wait, let's just ride it out, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Why was he about to walk? It was taking too long.
Yeah, because I mean, we have other shit to do. We have other priorities and stuff that are going on in our life. Like this is supposed to be like, hey, I'm gonna do my 15 and then I'm out.
It started
like on my
at
way
8
in a couple
o'clock.
hours. But dude, it started at 8. We didn't leave till almost
11.
1.
Oh, I didn't leave till 11.
Uh,
It was like 11.
no, because we got home at like, well, yeah, it was 11 because we got home at like 12:15, 12:30.
Yeah, y'all have a longer drive, but it was like I got home like 11.
Oh,
I left at 11, I think.
But either way, it drug on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be that long. A typical show you want is about an hour to an hour and a half at most. And the half hour is supposed to be like your headliner.
Right.
And then the build up of that is like a host usually does like anywhere from 10 to 15. You have like 2 guesties that might do 5 to 7. You might have 2 features that do 15, and then your headliner.
And if the show starts at 8, then the open mic should be 7 to 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
My opinion.
Yeah, the open mic should start well before. That's
Open
why
micers should be there first. Let them do their thing, you know, because it's free or whatever. But then, like, and that's another thing.
That's the thing too. It should have been free.
It should have been free for open mic, because if you want open micers to come, you can't charge
Make
them. There's
them
a whole lot of
pay.
weird shit going on last night that I was very confused on. But now that we have it
But
ironed
that's
out,
the problem,
some
though.
stuff I could talk about.
If they don't want to fix it and they want to keep it the same way that they've been doing it, you're not going to get a lot of comics that are
Right.
going to want to follow along and suit with that, because it doesn't go. It's like I did a music show on Juneteenth. That Juneteenth show, it was a music festival. They did gospel, praise, worship, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna do an intermission. Y'all gonna tell some jokes. Be whatever you want to be." I'm like, "You don't
want Sean.
You hired me, right? You know what I do, right?"
Oh my god!
And I'm like literally talking to Bill King and a few of the comics. I'm like, I'm the opener of the comedy once again. So I'm opening a soft crowd, which I don't mind because I like cracking up open an egg and every now and then. But like, dude, it's rough. It's rough.
I'll say when you open, like, it was up here. It was really good.
Yeah.
The first short guy went on. It was after you, I think.
Yeah.
He was good. I like him. It was a need a little work, but I liked it. I could see what he was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then there was, who went next? I
The
think
girl.
it was the female went.
Yeah.
She was good.
Yeah.
I like the jokes. And then
I like the fact, and here's my thing, because I'm such a big fan of female comics. I really am, and I'm always looking for the best of the best. You
Yeah.
know, like the ones that are really gonna like. That's it. She's got it.
There's not a lot, but you know.
It's not a lot. I'm gonna be honest, because this is the thing, because it's all vagina jokes all the time, and that shit gets really old to hear.
Yeah.
And she didn't tell one, and I
not
was
one.
like, "Yo, I'm fucking with this." Like, okay, what else you got? Like, yeah, because you get tired of hearing the same old, same old, fucking same old.
What,
Oh,
dick
period
jokes?
jokes,
I love
and then
dick jokes
you know,
and
like
vagina
vagina jokes, and it's the same shit all the time.
Yeah.
So when I hear a female comic, and I got a couple on my Instagram, and you know, a couple that I stay in touch with that I really fuck with heavy, that are like really good in the game.
Yeah. You stay in
And then,
touch with female comics on DM lists a lot?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I do a lot of shows with them. Mm-hmm. So
What kind of shows?
Tap In, I did one.
I'm just trying to get him caught up right now.
No, you can do whatever you want, because my wife already knows. So like I did Tap In, and I met a female comic there, and she's killer. She's killer. Like, she went up there, and I was like, everything was just hitting. I
Name
was
drop?
like, oh yeah, she's fucked. Yeah, I can't remember her name. I'll give you her Instagram off the top of my head. I can't remember, because I'm just terrible with names. I'm gonna be honest.
He's
Like,
like-
if I don't talk to you daily, I'll forget your name.
She's even lucky I watched her perform.
Right.
Shit, you're lucky I was there, bitch. No, I'm just playing.
I won't say any specifics, but I know a few of those open micers are very forgettable. Yeah. I'm not gonna say too much, but yeah.
That's right, Shawnee B. That's her name.
Okay,
Shawnee B.
okay.
She's a killer. I absolutely loved watching her work, and I told her that at the end, and I was like, "Thank you so much." It was like 1 or 2 vagina jokes, and then moved on to real shit. And I was like, "Oh, we could do more of that."
Yeah. This show was all good. Not really last night. There was a few hiccups I didn't like.
Well, you know.
You know, the fucking host over here talking about, we got the real comics coming up, and I was just like, I'm gonna slap this little motherfucker. I swear to God.
Oh, because you're.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he was on the open mic
Open
for
mic.
the 10, you know, and then like he was like, "All right, well that's enough of those fucking weirdos. Now we got the real comics coming up." And Sean's like, "What the fuck did he just say?" I'm like, "Calm down. He don't know. He doesn't know." Calm down.
I addressed
Sean's
it
like, "I'm
after
gonna
the show.
stuff him in
Fuck
my
yeah.
back pocket."
I addressed things like that after the show. You don't disrespect
Hey,
mine.
look here, you short motherfucker.
I picked him up. Actually, that's not even true. We got on a knee. I was like, I remember we were talking about. I was like, I'm gonna get on his level.
Oh man, I roasted the shit out of him too. I just took shots. I didn't like roast him hard.
I've always wanted to do midget throwing, so like next time I'm gonna see if he wants to
So if
apply
he
for
wants
that.
to apply for that,
Yeah.
just put him in a sticky suit.
Dude, oh
Get
my
a big
god,
dartboard, you know.
let's do it. That's the promo.
That's the promo.
Bullseye.
Yeah.
That'd be a great promo too.
Oh, no, what? I'll watch it.
Yeah, I bet you would.
I mean, I don't know. I had fun. Either way, I mean, I killed the show, and then Mikey killed this set. You killed yours. The headliner fucking destroyed it. I mean, he tore the roof off that bitch. That motherfucker's so funny.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Goddamn flow.
The
is
Asian
fucking
porn.
hilarious.
The Asian
Oh
porn
my
shit,
god.
bro.
You
Oh
want
my-
fuck? I still was on my way home thinking about that. You want fuck? I was like, yo.
He's like, oh, it's like when dudes come, Asian
Dude,
dudes
that
come,
was
that ruins
so
it.
funny. He was killing it.
Yeah,
Shout out to Flo Hernandez for
Yeah,
killing
Flo
fucking
Hernandez,
Halton
man.
Theater,
You're fucking
man.
great. I can't wait to see you again September 30th, man.
Yeah, I went home and checked out some more of his stuff because
Yeah, he's a funny
I was
dude.
sitting there rolling.
Yeah, he's been doing this for a minute, bro. Like he's been killing the scene for a while.
He is. He's definitely somebody that I can learn a lot from. So I'm excited working with him and stuff.
So Flo, whenever you need a blowjob, just let us know.
Sean's got you, bro.
I pay for the three of us with just me.
I call dibs on the
shit.
balls. I'll handle that. I'll handle the rest.
Do you just do that on purpose? Do you just keep tapping it just so I can see myself?
I just tap it just in case. See, this one moved.
See, like you have a better angle. You got like that wide shot angle, and so they can see your whole body profile. They just see this sweaty fucking face.
Well, if it wasn't 194 fucking degrees in here, it would
If
be
I
so
wasn't
bad.
late, if I wasn't late, when you get a late start up, you know, it's all rolls downhill to Fred's fault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always Fred's
all
fault.
It's always the
It's
black
always
guy.
the black guy's fault.
We would be 35 minutes in, not
Yeah.
17 minutes in, if it wasn't for Fred.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Where's your whip at, man? We need to get that out again.
I don't own
we need
one.
To, oh, don't fucking lie
He
now.
tried.
Sure the fuck don't. I've never owned a whip. I don't
I'm trying to
think.
get you to accept accountability of things you've never done.
Well, that's one of them. I've
Can I
never
get you
done
to
any of
sign
that.
this little paper that says that you committed this crime? Remember about that? Like false interrogations?
Yeah,
or-
false interrogations.
Like false, what is it? No, false.
watched a lot of those.
False admitting to crimes and shit.
I've seen a lot of that. I saw one. It was actually a whole documentary about people that had admitted to crimes that we all know they didn't do. And one dude got arrested for a crime that he didn't commit and was taken to the sheriff's house and interrogated there.
Oh.
Forced to sign papers, and then they took him to jail. And
the
I was
fuck?
like,
They'll do this shit to
"That's
close
not
cases
legit."
because you got to think about it. You got a mom and a dad crying because their daughter's dead. The police have no fucking answer on who did it. 'cause,
Yeah, so they'll just do whatever.
They'll just find someone that fits the profile. Like, look, you don't have an alibi. That's the biggest thing. You don't have an alibi. You
Yeah.
have no witness to alibi. They can fucking run any story past that.
Yep.
No.
And then all they have to do is convince a jury, and you're done.
And the biggest thing is if you sign that paper because they pressured you into it, and that's the thing is like most people that do accept these things is because they're led to believe that signing this paper, signing these confessions, are actually going to put them in a beneficial place,
Right. A better place, yeah.
a better place than they would be if they just said, "No, it wasn't me. I plead the fifth."
Right.
Well, if you keep doing this, man, they might put you up for the death sentence. You know,
Yeah.
because if you're found guilty, and the people are like, "Well, I have no proof, so how am I supposed to solve?" And this is all on the spot thought process. So like, the more pressure they give you, then the relief. Pressure, relief. Your brain gets to the point where you're like, fuck it, just let me out of here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's another thing. That's why, like, if you have the right to remain silent, use it. Don't say shit and lawyer up. I don't care what you do. I don't even care if you're guilty. Lawyer
Yeah.
up. Make them fucking work for it.
Well, I watched the Vsauce. You watch Vsauce at all?
Yeah,
Dude, I
a little
love
bit,
that
yeah.
guy, bro.
Is that the guy who's like, shut the fuck up? No, the lawyer?
No. Vsauce is like a scientific guy. He's like the beard, is bald headed.
Yeah.
He's like, he does like the animation sometimes, and sometimes he does like cool scientific experiments and then social experiments, things like that. But he was doing about the interrogation one actually about people, signing these things. So he did an experiment where he got this girl to actually say that she cheated on a test that she absolutely didn't cheat on, like not even a bit.
Yeah.
But with the pressure, the relief, the pressure, the tactics that he was using, she signed it. And the thing is like it was this black girl, right? And I was just like, man,
Damn.
her daddy didn't teach her right. Plead the fifth, God damn it.
No.
But
I almost got put in a situation like that. A cop was trying to tell me, oh, you did it. So he separated me and my friend, and he was just like, oh, well, your friend said you did it, so you might as well say he did it too.
yeah,
You going to go down alone? And I was just like, I looked at it was funny because we're being told the same thing, and we both went like, because the cops are standing in front of us, we like, no, he wouldn't say that. No.
my dog wouldn't do me like that.
Because we actually didn't do shit. It was kind of like just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Well, wrong color, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So
Gotcha,
the
gotcha,
situation,
gotcha.
we were walking back
That
from his
part.
house. This Mexican chick that lived in our apartment was in a shopping center that's right behind the apartment. So it was the ghetto. So she has a shopping cart, slams that bitch into the Chinese restaurant that was there, but it was fully tinted black glass.
So it's shattered.
It's shattered. She takes off. Me and my friend, we literally walk and see it. And as soon as it shatters, we take off because I'm not about to get caught right here.
That's
right?
where you fucked up. You ran.
Yeah, you ran.
What the?
We
We
should
ran.
have just looked around like, what the fuck
Do you not
was
realize
that about?
that's the number one thing that cops will say is running shows like Guilt. Yeah.
No.
Our suspicion of
we
guilt.
was just running. And they ran because they were like 4 deep and just me and him. So we ran, right? We're sitting in front of my apartment. A cop pulls up. Whoop. Hey, he's still in the car. He just wrote on the window. Hey, do you guys know anything about the window that got busted back there? Me and him looking at each other. The chick who busted the window was right next to us. And we're just like, no. And he's like, all right. Pulls out. As soon as he clears our view, another cop pulls in like Dukes of Hazzard. Skrrr! You two. One here, the chick go. And me and my friend look at each other like
That's the bitch
what
that
the
did it.
fuck? What the fuck is going on?
Dang.
So-
Did he have the rebel flag on top of the police car too?
Right. Did he have cages on the windows?
So-
Came out like Boss Hog.
Yeah.
You Duke boys, y'all in some trouble now.
So I'm pissed because I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? We didn't do shit. The other cop comes back and comes to me. The other cop goes to my friend, right? And
Oh, good cop, bad cop
yeah,
shit.
so he was basically like, hey, do you know what happened? I was like, no. Well, they got you on camera busting the window. It shows your face. And I was like, you're lying. I didn't do anything, right? So they switch officers.
Yep.
He tells me, well, your friend over there just said you did it. So you might as well say he did it too. And I was like, I didn't do shit. And that's when we both did it at the same time. And I'm just like, bro, I didn't do shit. That's a lie because why would he say that and we didn't do it?
Right.
What the fuck? So they finally, after interrogating us for maybe like 10 minutes, and I'm pissed and I'm trying to get up because they got me sitting down on the curb and I'm steady trying to get up and they're like, sit down. And I'm like, bro, y'all pissing me off. What the fuck? I didn't do nothing.
Am I being detained?
Right. I mean, I'm a kid then, so I didn't fucking know. But so they finally get in their cars and they're just like, go home. And they get in their cars and walk away. And my homeboy comes to me. He's like, hey, he told me that you said I did it. And I was like, he told me the exact same thing. He was like, well, bro, why would you say that? And I looked at him. I was like, did we do anything? And he was like, no. And I was like, so why would I tell them you did something we didn't do? And he was just like, oh. I was like, yeah, idiot.
He's like, well, maybe I
What
did
the
do
fuck?
it.
Yeah, it's like
Maybe it was my
maybe it was
powers.
me. Maybe I just forgot.
He had the force. He didn't know it the whole time.
Right.
It was the force of the shopping cart.
You need better
Right.
friends, man.
No, he was
We're
like,
not
well,
the black people you're looking for.
Right.
We're not the black people.
Right.
You're looking. It's this guy over there. It's that black guy. Over
right.
there.
So
I would have snitched on her. I'd be like, it was her.
Yeah.
I saw her do it.
I came in the house, and I'm not sure if Chris remembered this. I came in the house, and I was like, fuck, man, fuck the police. And Chris was like, what's going on? My mom was like, what's going on? Dad. And I was like, nah, bro, fuck the police. Fail, nah, bro. And we didn't do shit. And then they went outside. My mom was like, what the fuck is going on? And that was kind of the end of it.
That was the end of it.
Yeah. And I was
Oh.
like, at that, you know what's crazy? I wanted to be a police officer so bad until that moment. I was like, fuck the police. Fuck the police.
Coming straight from the underground.
Yeah, because I wanted to be a police like my uncle. My uncle Fred is a police officer.
Yeah.
And I want to be just like him. So
That's funny.
yeah.
He's like,
This is funny.
he's like, I want to beat up white people when I pull them over.
Right.
So yeah, hard.
I remember that day
So they
too, yeah.
when
Now
they
I just think
called
about
him,
Wait, I never knew y'all's relationship. Y'all, mom and dad got married,
yes.
and so y'all
Yeah.
are stepbrothers.
No.
No. That's
He married my
That
mom.
would be easier if it was.
Who married your mom?
He did.
I did. Long time ago.
Yeah.
It was like I mean, going on what, 12 years,
Yeah, that was,
13 years
that was a
now?
while ago.
No,
I was a kid.
hot
kid.
minute.
Like I was like
Yeah.
12, 11.
So you were technically his dad?
yeah, stepdad
Stepdad,
at some point. yeah.
technically.
And then once
Kind
they
of.
broke it off, we became just like best
Yeah.
friends. Not best friends, but like on that line.
Bro,
Yeah,
this is
I
the
always
first time I've ever seen
considered-
a stepdad relationship actually go off pretty
I'm,
well.
Yeah, I'm unmolested, by the way.
So unfair.
Yeah, it was one of those things where like I was young and stupid and I was just doing shit. He's like, you know how you just go through the motions of life. It's like whatever happens.
So she was like
happens.
36 and you were
Yeah.
like 18?
I was like 26 at the time,
Oh,
and she
okay.
was 10 years older than me, and I was just going through the motions and didn't think. I had no thought about ramifications of what like this is going to end up, and it ended badly,
Yeah, it did.
terrible.
It
So
horrible.
it was as long as
So
a
does your
train
mom
wreck.
hate him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hate
Oh,
him
yeah.
too. So it's like it's a mutual thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that you hang out with him all the time, she's
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
He chose the side.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And but anyway, yeah, that's
I need
pretty
to hear
much-
more about this story.
It's a long. It's a very long. It would take a lot more than a podcast to be
Yeah.
able to explain all.
Can
of
we get
that.
we need to do like a 3-part series?
a 3-part series
Of
of
this,
just
'cause I
how
need to
this went
fucking
down.
How I
know.
Met Your Mom.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my God, that's what it's called. The How I Met Your Mother special. Oh, dude. Look,
Yeah, so
if you guys want to see this, please comment, like below. This is the story of how these two became the perfect stepdad and stepson.
So it was cool because like I didn't even know she had kids. That was the one thing, right?
Okay. Whoa.
So that was never mentioned.
So 36, you were like no red flag of kids.
No,
She looked good?
I didn't know about red flags, bro. Like,
She look good? I mean, she was like skinny waist.
She's a very, well, at the time, she was a very attractive woman. It wasn't that she was, like a bombshell. She was, she wasn't awful.
Well, I'm 32.
So-
I mean, I'm just saying, like.
So to me, it was like, yeah, she's 10 years older than me, but it was like, whatever. And plus, I was going through a lot of shit then. Needed a place to stay type shit. It was one of those situations where everything was just going to happen.
You fucked yourself a bed? You fucked yourself to a bed.
It is what it is, right? And then, like, right after that, I don't want to say anything that'd be disrespectful, about the situation anyway.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but, he was there too, so he knows.
Yeah, well, he's not oblivious to the fact, but the thing is like, all of that situation going on was like, shit I shouldn't have did in the first place.
So you were in the wrong.
No.
See, this is why I need to hear this.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the wrong, but I damn sure wasn't in the right because I shouldn't have been in the
so
situation.
So two wrongs don't make a right, is what you're saying.
I shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have been in that situation.
But look what you got out of it.
That's true. I shouldn't have put myself in a situation to be a stepdad at 20-something years old when, especially the teenagers, that like there's no way I could have like I think we're like 11 years apart or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was really odd. And while they're on teenager shit, I'm on like a step above that,
which is just drugs and alcohol.
Dumb shit. Just drugs and alcohol. So like all the stories you hear about me like running up on crowds of people and ready to fight and like like calling my brother, shit's going down, like real street shit. I was about that still. So it was a bad influence on them. It didn't help.
Hey, it was fine with me.
Like none of the shit I did really helped. And like,
oh no,
yeah,
me and him clicked.
Like, there's a lot of shit.
Me and him clicked because we.
Hey, when your dad's talking, listen, okay? Oh my god!
Well, fuck, you're trying to be my dad, so you keep talking to my mom. Like my fucking, my stepdad's gonna kill you.
I don't
really
consider him my like a step. It's like I'll say he's like best friend type shit.
I look at him like a brother more than anything. Like we buddied up
for
like,
sure.
Me and his brother buddied up.
I mean, she was old enough to be your mom too, so it makes sense.
Like legit. Like it was. I mean, if she had me at 10, then yeah. But
there's hoes out there.
It's weird because like her birthday is a day before mine, 10 years.
Oh
ahead.
wow!
So it's like literally we share almost the same birthday. And then his is 2 days.
2 days before my mom's.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
okay.
3 days before mine, 2 days before his mom's. So like. This whole situation was crazy, and like the whole time I'm in it, I was so like whatever, like just let life happen shit that I should have been more careful in my thoughts and going into something like that. That's what I mean by I was not any better than anybody else.
I would say if you put your life in my mom's hands,
it's over with.
Probably not the best decision you're gonna make.
Oh, okay. She'll sell you for crack or something like that?
She's very bipolar.
Oh, okay.
And so I could say that openly because
like one of those people might drown kids.
And
my mom has the extreme worst case of bipolarness to the max. The worst case you think of, times 7.
Okay.
So it's bad.
To give you an example, when I found out she had kids, I was like, oh yeah, I don't, it doesn't bother me. Like, I ain't tripping, whatever. And then I was told that it was from a previous marriage. It was one guy, right? Later on, after we're married, mind you, after all of that shit is settled, I find out she had 3 baby daddies. So we thought. Turns out it was 4.
4.
And we didn't find that out till like way later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, and at the time I was like, ooh, that's a red flag. I didn't even know red flags back then, but I knew that was one of them.
And you're like, something's slowing me down.
Something's off about all of this. Like, this does no longer feel like this is, this is bad. All of this.
You were catfished into this.
Kind of, in a way, yeah, a little bit.
She played you.
And
She
then it just got
abracadabra that shit. She's like, poof, look at my handful of luggage.
Yeah, no shit. She was like, I'm gonna pull out my Mary Poppins bag, and all these red flags are coming out with it.
Oh shit, dude! All the crazy came with it.
Yeah.
As soon as she got comfortable, right? As soon as she knew you were kind of stuck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
It was literally 30 days after the annulment date.
Oh shit! She's like, you're stuck, motherfucker.
She was like, guess what? Here's all my shit, bitch. Gotcha. But it was one of those things where like I don't regret it because I got to meet a lot of people, and especially Fred, and then like I have a lot of other people in my life too that like came from that situation.
Okay.
But if I could go back, I'd probably do it differently.
Probably just be your Facebook friend,
it would be weird though.
Yeah, I hit you up on Instagram.
I was like, who's this grown ass dude hitting me up? I'm like,
real shit.
13 to check.
So y'all hung out like all the way from like that point, like
Bro,
y'all never
yeah.
separated.
Like
So-
getting into shit together, running from police together, like fucking all that shit. Like we did all that stuff together, and I was the worst influence. That's what I'm saying. Like
You're the older brother that just
Yeah.
like, hey, let's go do hood
That
shit.
is
Let's go do hood
basically
shit.
what the relationship was like. Yeah.
I remember my favorite moment of Chris's is we were me and him were playing the game, and my older brother and my little brother start arguing, and they're about to fight. Right? My mom was like, "You're not supposed to fight. Hell no! You're not. You're your brother." Me and him. My mom went in the room. Me and him looked at each other. He was like,
Get
"Fucking
it.
y'all fight right now."
Squash that shit right now, bitch. Like,
Fight. And I was sitting there like, "Fight, yeah." That was one of my favorite moments.
So how long was that? When did that end?
it ended roughly around the time I got locked up, so that would be 2012.
Yeah.
Damn. So
2012.
2012.
So we went to
11,
Memphis
2012.
and yeah, she just uprooted
Once we
us.
separated, they moved to Memphis. I stayed here, and I was like, oh, it was like a sigh of relief. Like all the baggage is gone.
You're like,
I was
jail
sitting there
is
like,
so
oh
worth
man,
it.
but it sucked too because I was stuck in the country, like in the middle of nowhere. I had nowhere I could go. I had no car. I had nothing.
Nothing.
I was literally bottomed out, worst I've ever been. And I was just like, man, I gotta move around. I gotta do something. So I packed a week's worth of clothes, and then I moved to Dallas with nothing. I had nowhere to go. Anyway,
shit.
and I built all of this from that.
Yeah, man. Like where we're at now, the sweaty ass garage.
Yeah. but I have a 4-bedroom house.
His
and
his house does, smell of rich
two
mahogany.
brand new cars.
He's got plenty of leather-bound books.
I have shit now. I have a comedy career I'm trying to take off, and I actually did something.
Let's
with my life,
label
so it's
all
not
your
too
most
bad.
expensive stuff and then put your address at the bottom of the episode.
Don't, because then I have to open that safe.
hey. I've always wanted to see
I'm
people
gonna be
get
on
shot.
the 9 o'clock news. I mean, it. I don't regret none of it, but I do regret the way that it went down. You
Okay.
know, but it is what it is. It's one of those
Well, you
things. Like I
learn from
said,
it.
I've learned a lot from it. I've learned a lot about red flags, what to look out for.
Yeah.
Cause like right after that, I didn't date forever. I swear to God, after the divorce was done, I was done.
So when
I
did you
was
meet
like-
Nicole?
So I met her at work. So I was working at SiriusXM at the time. I was doing in-car technologies and stuff. I was like a retention guy. So I was basically keeping all of the accounts.
Okay.
So when people call and they're like, "What the fuck is this charge?" I'm like, "Let me explain it to you." And I was getting commission, and I was killing it on commission. And so I was getting like commission and hourly and all that shit. Well, they moved us from one building to the main building and shut down the other one. So
Okay.
we ended up all in the same building, and that's when I met Nicole. And we started kicking it on some like just being cool shit. Not even really like I wanted to date her, of course, but I was like, I gotta play it cool. You know, what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like, I don't wanna-
slow down. I don't want to be too much. Like I would do things where like when she go on break, I'd go on break just to talk to her. And then like
okay.
like I would have cigarettes in the car, but I wouldn't even touch them. I'd be like, "Hey, you got a cigarette in the bar?" I couldn't have a reason to talk.
Yeah.
I did stuff like that, and then
How
finally
long
we went
did it
on
last?
dates, and I think we went on dates for like 3 or 4 months or so before we actually like really
Called
settled it in.
a date,
Yeah. And then
like we're together.
it's funny. The funny part about our relationship is that I was leaving my apartment, and I was staying with an ex at the time, and I was so done with that bitch. I was ready to move out. Like I was like, I don't even want to be there anymore. I never was there anyway.
Right.
And so I was like, all right. So my lease is up, and I cleaned out my side of the apartment, and I was like, I'm done. And then I told her, I was like, hey, I'm trying to find a spot, but I had a felony on my record,
So
a
it's hard to
felony
get an
arrest.
apartment, yeah.
So getting an apartment was almost fucking impossible.
Unless it's in the ghetto.
Facts. And so I was like, I'm looking for places to stay. And she was like, why don't you stay with me until you get it together and we'll figure it out. I'm like, all right, cool. I stayed with her, paid off probation, got off everything. I was done, right? And then like, as I was looking for apartments, she just wouldn't let me leave. And so I just never left. I ended up staying with her, and then that was it.
How long ago was this?
I mean, we're going on 7-8 years now.
Oh, okay. So damn, dude, that's a lot of life.
I was,
Yeah.
oh,
Such a
bro,
smart amount
that's
of time.
just that's not even the tip of the iceberg. It's so much more. than that.
You one of those gangsters that got out of the ghetto, bro, and you made it.
I did what I had to do. I mean, it wasn't like I was all proud of everything.
I
but-
snitched out who I need to snitch out to.
No, I stuck to the street code. I know what's up, bro. Like,
That's why I'm still alive, bro. What are you talking about?
that's why people still fuck with me. That's why they know I'm solid all the way through. Like anybody that like I've known from back in the day, they still fuck with me. They're like, yeah, that dude's solid. Like they'll let you know up front.
Speaking of, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So I was just gonna say, dealing with the situation between him and my mom, it really opened my eyes to how my mom was. Like, especially when I went to Memphis, I was like, okay, something's wrong with you. This isn't normal.
Listen, I get the mom thing, man. There's moms out there that just aren't good moms.
No, so I'll say that at least she taught us like the mom stuff, right from wrong, how to clean up, how to cook, shit like that. It was just secondary shit.
Now, see, my mom's special needs, so she's like slow.
Okay.
And so like she taught me how to like do my ABCs barely. She always missed a few letters. Like, the vowels were really hard. I wish I was lying, dude. When I was 13, we had to argue. I had an argument with my mom, and I
She's
was
a
like,
square peg in a round hole kind of woman.
It's one can short of a six pack. You know,
Yeah, I
that's
get
the
you.
easiest way to do it.
Not the brightest bulb in the
But for
box,
some
you know
reason,
what I
like
mean?
the hoe side, I was always still there. Like,
Facts.
like
Yeah.
straight up. I found old letters.
She's the dull crayon in the box.
Dude, yeah. Whew. Anyway, I'm having an argument with my mom, and she's like trying to ground me or get me in trouble or some shit. And this is when I'm on meth and shit, like when I was like 13, you know, doing meth with her. And I was like, Mom, I don't have to listen to you because I'm smarter than you. And you know what she said? She's like, just because you're smarter than me doesn't mean I can't tell you what to do. Oh, that's been it. That's been my childhood. That was just being the smartest man
But
in the room.
I was always the type that, like, if I learned something, I taught them. I was like, hey, just so you guys know, like, we're all figuring this shit out together. We're all figuring this life thing out together.
Front
So
to
it's
back.
like,
Front to back.
so I would be like when I learned about credit, the first time I ever learned about it, what a fucking credit score is, I told him, I was like, hey, so you guys know there's this thing called a credit score, and it needs to be high, not low. I'm figuring out the rest, but just so you guys know, did I not? I was always trying
He's
to
like, let me
teach
get your
him shit that
social because I gotta
learning.
get the electric bill going.
I still remember,
That was more a mom thing. That would
I remember the day we had that conversation because it was right around the time y'all got married.
Yeah.
And my aunt came over with my uncle Alonzo, and they were sitting there, hey, look, credit this, and I'm sitting there like, I'm not gonna need any of this information.
Yeah,
as soon as I hit the 20, I was like, fuck, they were right. Fuck. Ah, okay, I should listen.
Dude, no, I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
shout out to Pam. I still talk to her all the time. That's her. That's his
your
aunt.
aunt? Okay,
yeah, but
okay.
they're really cool. She's
So your ex's sister.
yeah.
Gotcha.
She's been on the podcast and everything.
Yep, she's been on the podcast.
Was like
She
the
came
first
down
few
here.
episodes?
She's family.
Yeah.
100%. Even if we don't agree on a lot of things, she's
Yeah.
still family. Like,
Oh,
100%.
okay.
I still rock behind her.
That's
I love
cool.
her. I
That's
love her
cool.
to death. She's cool shit.
Like there were some good people that you met in there. That's
Yeah,
good. That's
yeah.
good.
It was a lot of cool people I met. Some
you know.
not so cool,
Yeah,
but you know,
yeah.
It's like when you go to hell, you know, Satan's there, but there's gonna be a few cool people there too.
yeah, Kanye's here. That's pretty cool. Like,
Hey.
fuck that guy.
Let's do a show.
Oh, was that Michael
Yeah.
Jackson? Nah,
For real.
Bro, we all know. We all
all
know.
know.
We all know.
You heard they're trying
He's
to
over
sue him
reaching
again
for
now.
kids and shit.
I'm just like, what the fuck?
What would
bro?
what would like Michael Jackson's torture be? Like the kids are all like sitting above him and he can't reach them.
No, because that might be still a thing he'd get off to, you know?
Maybe.
What if he just like is forced to have sex with like just old people?
Just for the rest of his
Just
life.
old people.
For all of the rest of eternity, it's
Yeah.
all like old people porn
Like,
and
hey,
shit.
we're gonna make you look like the kid you always wanted to be, Mike. So
Right.
he like looks like a kid,
Or no-
and he's white, but he's forced to have sex with just old, wrinkly balls all his life.
I was thinking like his torture would be put him back to when he was black and have him just live as
Yeah.
a black person forever.
oh, with just his dad.
just
him and his
his
dad.
dad. None of the other Jackson 4. Just him.
No one's there to protect you, Mike. It's just you and Dad.
His dad's like, sing, bitch. Just keeps punching him. And he's like, he. I'm sorry.
What if it's like he can never hit a note all the way? That's like his
So he
thing.
constantly gets beat.
Forced to
That'd be
sing.
Mariah Carey's. That'd be Mariah Carey's.
She deserves it,
Because she
though.
was such like a note junkie. Like she had to make sure she was everything was on point.
Just can never hit her notes ever again. It
Nick
just,
Cannon would be sterile. I can't have no kids.
dude.
Mine would be punchlines never come like when they're supposed to.
Oh, that's already there.
It'd
but,
be like,
you know.
no, not even
I don't have
close. Not even close.
I don't know
can't
what
sleep
mine
on
would
you.
be.
Mine would be like I'm almost famous. My whole life would never be making it.
Mine would be like the curtain that, you know, the guy's like, hey, behind this curtain, you're going to meet your real dad. And it just keeps opening and there's nobody there. Or it's just random ass people that aren't my dad.
Yeah.
It's like Kurt Cobain? No, dude, there's no
Is that
way.
Hitler? What the fuck?
I'll take that one. At least he was a world leader.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think hell would be more interesting than heaven. Heaven sounds boring to me.
Oh, it depends on what you can do in heaven. Like, if heaven, can I be a freak still? Like,
No,
can I?
probably
That's there's
Like, can I get
questions
my
that we
butthole licked?
never got answered to.
Think about this. In the Bible, it says you're not supposed to sleep with other people. While,
No.
while
I'm talking about
unmarried,
like I still get to like you're not married anymore. You're not a physical bond anymore. You're just your spirit. So like if I'm my spirit, can I like
Can my spirit still get off?
Yeah, like, can I
my
get my
question.
butthole licked? That's all I need to know. Can I
Probably
eat
not.
ass and can ass be eaten? That's
Hey,
all.
that's a fact.
That's a real question,
that's
bro.
a real good
Because if that's
question.
not in heaven, then what's heaven?
Is there,
You know what I'm saying?
Is there or is there not a Monday circle jerk? I'm just asking.
It's like,
for
God,
a
why
friend.
did you make a prostate then? Tell me. Because, like, it feels really good when it gets tickled. That's all I'm saying.
And I always thought that was funny is that like they abolished like gays in the Bible and shit, but then they put the G spot in the prostate.
Yeah, they're like, ha tricks on you, assholes. Your
Yeah.
clitoris is in your ass. Like, that's all it
that
is.
part. No, that's
It's a male
so true.
clitoris.
It's an actual fact too. I didn't think it was until I learned that from a lady that worked at a sex shop. Mm-hmm. She told me that, and I was like, I think that's bullshit. And she's like, it's not. Look it up. And then I looked it up, and I was like, son of a bitch.
No, she's like, let me prove you wrong real
Right.
quick.
She was like, come into this back room
Back
real
room.
quick.
I'm going to take a couple fingers.
Don't worry. We'll be right back.
And all you can hear is, oh my God, I'm coming.
Right. I'm like, this is so great.
Fuck
but
me
it
harder.
hurts. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I always thought the idea of heaven was odd to me. Just, and I can understand like a spiritual plane in an afterlife would make more sense, but heaven itself was like, if you're good, you go here, you're bad, you go here, but you can only do it if you get through the eyes of one person. It's like, doesn't make any sense. It's like, there's too much red tape when it comes
Well, you say
to
the
that.
eyes of one person.
It's-
You got to remember, God is the Alpha, the Omega,
Okay, well, he has a split
everything.
personality. It's fine, but either way, it's still, you know what I'm saying? It's still one of those things where it's
Theory.
like,
Theory.
so
You
it
said
comes
it.
down to this, right? Like the way I always looked at it, it's like you could be a piece of shit your whole life, and right on death row, you can just be forgiven and be done, and now you get in there.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna be stuck with a bunch of pieces of shit. Meanwhile, like normal, cool people that don't agree with what the Bible says are going to hell. That doesn't make any sense.
No,
to me.
limbo.
I'll still do a limbo.
So-
I'll
just so you
fucking
know, like,
cool with
the
that. I feel like I'm in limbo now anyway.
I think this is what this is.
yeah,
a
I
limbo
think
of,
that's why we're doing a podcast.
this is a
in
limbo of death. This is all this is. We're limbo to dying. That's all this is.
Yeah, I'll be stuck in limbo. That's cool.
Well, like we could technically, this could be heaven, right? I hate doing this one right here, but I'll go deep with you guys real quick. Earth could be heaven. Let me explain. If we weren't just so fucking greedy and we just didn't care about like having so much materialistic goods, we could literally just live happy and never have to work or spend money. When I say work, I don't mean work for somebody else to make them money to do the capitalistic gain. I'm talking about work for yourself. It means you grow.
Oh my God,
build.
you fucking socialist.
No, fuck socialism,
Oh my
dude. I'm
God.
talking about like, how about when I say socialism? How about singular socialism, which means we're all in it for ourselves. There can be a barter and trade system, of course. I think barter and trade's good.
I think that's called capitalism.
Yeah.
Barter and trade, yes, but when you say barter and trade, you're bartering trade with goods, not with money, not physical currency. Like if I'm bringing hay to the
That
crowd,
literally sounds like socialism.
it's not though, because unfortunately socialism puts somebody in charge.
So nobody's in charge. So you're talking about a social barter and trade system based on anarchy.
Pretty much like a zombie apocalypse. That's the society we need.
We need an apocalypse?
Fuck
But
yeah.
you should have just led with that.
I'm
and I would have
sorry.
agreed.
I'm sorry,
I would have
yeah.
went right there with you. Like, yeah, we need an
I
apocalypse and
just
we need
need
another
something-
COVID that's going to take out like half the population.
Please, because
I
we
wouldn't mind
need
a
Thanos.
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 I'm a big Thanos fan, by the
No,
way.
because
Snap
there's-
that finger and get us out of here.
Half of us are gonna be gone, and the other half still have to pay bills. So
No,
No, who are you gonna pay it to?
Yeah, exactly.
When the infrastructure
world
falls, who are you gonna pay
falls
it to?
apart completely. That's the whole the whole idea of that is not because of just the population, but the population being cut in half. One, you're cutting half probably a lot of world leaders, a lot of world governments getting zipped out right there. And so you have normal people that don't know politics. They don't know the same system of that. They know a general idea of like democracy and things like that. But those half of people, one, aren't all going to be conservative or all going to be Republicans. It's not like just the conservatives got left over, so they're going to run conservatorship everywhere. There's no way to keep a maintainment of how much chaos is going to be happening in the first couple of years of it, that you'd only be able to maybe control small pockets and villages, maybe cities, things like that, and eventually network yourself into a world thing like that. With like, you've seen Walking Dead.
But see, we
shows.
did that at one point, and that's how we ended up in this capitalistic world.
Right, because it got too overgrown.
Yeah,
And we didn't.
the Romans used to do shit like that, and then so did 90% of the other world.
Mass killings, absolutely. Gladiators, shit like that, dude. Why
Well,
not? Population
I
control.
think gladiators were overanalyzed. I don't think gladiators were like the ones they weren't really killing each other. And that was a history.
You're talking about the prisoners that are being used against gladiators?
No. I'm talking about gladiators themselves. I don't think they were they probably were killing prisoners. I don't doubt that.
I'm saying putting prisoners into the show.
But as far as the gladiators killing themselves, I don't think so, because it was probably harder to find gladiators that were actually good at the job than it would be anything. Because all you had like potters and blacksmiths and shit. There was a whole documentary on that when they were talking about how gladiators were more like the
Celebrities.
NFL celebrity stars
Yeah.
they are now,
Right.
versus actual like like killing machines that went out there and just chopped up lion heads and shit.
Well,
Like,
I mean, you had some that were great gladiators, and that's why they stayed
I'm sure.
alive. But I mean, there was plenty that probably tried to make a name for themselves.
I'm not saying it wasn't a
Stayed-
game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Okay,
like,
okay.
I don't think they were killed off in the
It wasn't just a
masses, like,
TBI, bro. It was like their arm was gone. After
you know what I'm saying? It's like, how are you going to market that guy if his arm's gone? Like, he's only got one arm. He can't hold a shield.
They call him Lucky, man. He's got one thing left.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we call him IHOP. You know what I'm saying? He's got one leg. And it's like, you know, it's one of those things, like, that's one of those things where it's like history. You know what I'm saying? It's his story. It's not really.
Well, you know, history's
the
written by
facts.
winners, not losers. So
Facts.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
that's all very true.
that's a
another
huge
thing.
conundrum that we have, because you got to remember, like, when Christianity overtook everything and stole all this different types of arts and knowledge, and then burnt a lot of it down. And I mean, there's so many different backstories.
Took a lot of pagan beliefs and turned them into.
Well, you know, Constantine, like I think Joe Rogan was talking about it. Like, Constantine was a Satanist and Luciferian, and then he's like, oh, well, do Christ, but at the same time, it was never about Christ. It was just getting his people to go, oh yeah, Christ, yeah, we want him.
Give me money.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where the Catholic Church came in, and you got
and children.
yeah.
Give me money and children. And I'm
He's
good.
like, you thought sodomy was a problem,
Right.
Just wait, bro.
I mean, sodomy was so bad they named a whole fucking city after it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Come on now. What do you think that's about?
Well,
I'm just saying, like, when it comes to the Bible, I walked away from it. I walked away from religion. I'm done.
Well,
I
religion's
backed out.
fair enough, but Bible.
I bowed out to all of it because there's too much shit that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, for me
and
too.
there's too many people that can't answer properly. So I gave up.
Fair, because
I
nobody
gave
knows.
up. I'm
Nobody
like, you know
actually
what?
knows the real
That
answer.
part. So if you don't know,
Then why
and
am
I
I
don't
following
know,
this shit
then
if
why
you
the
don't
fuck
know?
are we
What
talking
the
about
fuck?
it?
That's
Fair
like-
enough, but
Yeah.
you can't say that you've ever had let's leave the religion out of it. Let's leave the Bible out of it. Let's talk about presence and reality, right?
Yeah.
Tell me you've never felt that presence of God.
Nope, not one time. Now I have had that little voice.
No,
Right?
that's what I'm talking about.
So,
Something.
And
is-
I was talking to myself about that the other day. Actually, I was like, I miss that little voice. They used to tell me like, don't go that way, go that way. And it was always like a little. And I do remember that there was a little voice that used to tell me that like danger's there. But I think that voice was evolution because we've evolved for so long to be in danger nonstop. That voice is still going to be there. It's like
so you
that,
don't think
that
anything
sixth
helped
sense.
guide your choices in life? Because you made a lot of mistakes in your early life, right? Nothing, no presence, no
I
energy. There was no
think-
that gut feeling, that gut. That
I can
gut,
say
gut.
this much, and this is just my personal opinion. Okay, I could say that if there is an afterlife, it would not surprise me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if there was a presence of a deity, it would not surprise me. But I don't think that deity is going to be what you think it is.
Not at all.
I don't think that deity would be either good nor bad.
I don't think it
neither
would even
be
talk
right
to you.
nor wrong. And I don't think it would ever talk to you. That part. I don't think that it's a heaven or a hell. I don't think there's any of that. I think there's a spiritual plane that we might exist beyond this, but that could also be because we just need that to accept death better.
Yeah.
Have you heard the theory about the fact
Because
that
when you think of death, what do you think of? You think of darkness, right? But you can't physically think of nothing. You're non-existent. You don't exist. You're no longer
so
a
there's
thing.
no
You're not a
pain, there's
being.
nothing.
You're a nothing.
You're just blink. It's like going to sleep and not
It's
waking
like
up.
your brain can't comprehend that because your brain is selfish and your brain is always
Survival.
thinking there's something after this. There's something better than this. And I think that's the reason we came up with this idea of a deity. But to be to be able to process the fact that there is infinite nothingness beyond this life, you don't exist, you're no longer a thought, you don't have thoughts, you don't have anything going on
Right.
after this at all whatsoever, it will blow your mind.
But that is just
'Cause-
one choice, though.
But that's what I think the reason we came up with the idea of a deity is because our brain was like, well, this isn't it. You know, once we die, I mean, you know, we're going to go on to some other place too.
Right.
And then and I think that's where it really came from.
We'll say
I
that you're
really-
dying, nothing happens, right? You're non-existent, right?
Right.
That's what's one way that it could happen. But there's like a million other ways it could happen.
That's also
too.
true. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said if there was a deity behind this, or if there was something that like a great creator or whatever, it
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. I mean, look at where we live. We live in a terrarium
That's
built
perfect.
around that is flying through space thousands of miles an hour. We have yet to be killed by the random shit that happens throughout this universe. And on top of that, it's weird that we live in something in a bubble where everything feeds itself. It's a self-sustaining,
Self-sufficient, yeah.
self-sufficient bubble. And the fact that like when whales die, you know, the fish eat, and when we eat the fish, and then when we die, the plants eat us, and then it's like this whole circle of life.
Well, you
that is
remember,
just
it all
this
starts from the
crazy
sun.
thing.
The sun brings the energy to the grass.
Right.
Herbivores
Like,
eat grass.
Yeah, you start talking about like biology and
Yeah.
photosynthesis and like the Krebs cycle and all that. Yeah, but I'm saying like in hindsight, when you look at just take a step back and just kind of look at where we live, it's a chaotic environment around us we know nothing about, and yet we have been able to sustain this for millions of years. That's pretty fucking cool. So if there was a deity behind all the science and everything, then it wouldn't surprise me. But if there wasn't, I wouldn't know because I'm dead.
Well,
So
have you heard this theory though? This is the one thing I'm done with it after this, but it's like each individual person is a small piece of that deity.
Yeah, that's why they say that we were built in the eyes of God.
Like
That's kinda where that
we're
came
at the
from.
consciousness of a deity,
Right.
actually.
Isn't that why they said they have every human being has like a small part of DNA they don't know what it is? Or
Well, it's
something like that?
unassigned, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes, that's what they call the alien DNA because we don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
So
And it's just you can't assign it, but at the same time, that's where like you get the theory of like we're all just a small piece of like a 1 and 0 of this huge deity's consciousness, and when we die, all we're doing is taking that experience, putting it back into him, and then coming back and recycling.
yeah.
And that's how do you think how does something become all knowing, all powerful without having living real experience?
Well, that's another thing. Like we could have just created something that we needed to be all knowing and all powerful to deal with shitty situations.
Yeah, that's fair too.
When you talk about like, oh, my whole family was killed in this war that I had nothing to do with, and I've lost all my crops, and now all my fucking shit is gone, and I have nothing. But don't worry, because there's a better thing out there for me. As long as you keep that positive attitude, at some point something's gonna come along, and you can just say, God did it. Oh, that's God. God loves me.
Okay, it's
He's
a
helped
positive
me.
affirmation.
So
like,
that positive affirmation could have led to the point where somebody was like, you know what? Maybe there's a being beyond this that we don't fully understand. There's too many what ifs for me to accept anything. So what I do is I step back from it and I let you guys figure it out, and I'm just gonna go tell jokes.
and you're gonna wait till the proof's in the pudding,
I'm
right?
gonna wait till the proof's in the pudding. Because here's my thing, and this has always been my stance on it. If God created me in His image, then I am part of Him. Therefore, He has thought the same thing I have thought, and He has felt the same way I have felt. So therefore, He cannot be judging me because you built me. It's the same way when Bill Burr did his bit about the car. I don't build a car, and then when it doesn't work, I just set it on fire. Yeah, let me go diagnose it. Is there gas in it? Did I build the engine correctly? You know what I'm saying? Like he did a whole bit about it, and I was like, that's a perfect way to describe how I feel about the whole situation.
Well, supposedly God made us valuable because that was the whole point.
And I talk to people who are big into spiritual stuff. I talk to Christians. I talk to everybody, and I don't down anybody that believes anything. And I don't want anyone to think I do. I have personally stepped back, and I want to watch how this unfolds because there's too many people that have died behind religion for me to be a part of it. I would rather step back and just kind of see what's going on. And make my own kind of like assumptions or whatever beyond that.
What would you say though, right? If you died right now and you actually end up at the pearly gates, and they're like, "Hey, now what are you gonna say?" Like,
I'm like,
I would be like, okay, well now I know.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
it. And whatever happens from this point forward is what it is.
and they're like,
it's
"You
my,
can't come in because you didn't believe in us."
It's the same way.
beforehand."
Okay, let me give you an
I would
example.
accept that.
Here's the thing. It's the same thing when you told your kid not to do something and they did it anyway and they got hurt. What'd you do? I told you so. So when I get there, what do you think I'm going to get?
I'm gonna be like,
I'm going to get the same
okay.
thing. I told you so.
I accept it.
And then I'm going to be like, okay, well, I accept it.
No.
It is what it is from here.
I should have believed.
No.
It's just, I don't know.
That part. Like, if I had a chance to go back and now knowing,
Yeah.
What
I would
know
understand
now.
it. Because if there was a God that was so worried about what I thought, He would speak to me and tell me, hey, you're doing this wrong. Or you're living a wrong life. Dude, if God came out right now and spoke to me, I would like, fuck all of you guys. I'm going to live in His name. Whatever He wants, I will do it.
Yeah.
But He won't. And the reason is because I don't think He's real.
My thing is this though. From what
If I'm being
You don't think he's real as the person they prescribe him to be?
that
Yeah.
part.
That
I don't
part. I
think
get
he's
that.
real in the way that you think he is.
Personally, I think even if he were to come back, because remember in the Bible, it's like
He's supposed to come back.
It's doomsday.
Well,
at that fucking
Jesus
point.
is coming back
Yeah.
to grab
Right.
his disciples, and then from there,
Yeah.
the
Now, if
believers.
some of y'all start getting sucked up into heaven, I'm
Have
like,
y'all-
oh shit, I fucked up.
Have y'all seen that
Okay.
movie Dogma?
Yeah, I love that
Dogma?
movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And
Matt
Jesus
Damon.
couldn't talk, or because it was so past our.
Shit, all she could say was boop.
That was actually very close to like he
Yeah.
was very good about keeping the biblical story with Dogma.
because-
Yeah.
And you're talking about Megatron, the voice of God.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
actually that whole spiel he did about like being the only person you actually do hear. That is very true. I mean, that's cool and stuff with it because it goes with the Bible. But I mean, at the same time, like all that shit is just, it's history, right? It is history.
His story.
Yeah, yeah. It's that person's story and that perception.
By winners.
There's a lot of losers in the good book. There's a lot of losers.
But yeah, there's people who lost, but
Like-
they always bounce back. Kinda
based
like-
on the belief of having that positive
Exactly.
affirmation, which I can see where that goes. Because I mean, really, like, you ever seen
I
the
know
Book
it's
of
hot in
Eli?
here, man.
Yeah, I know. You ever seen Book of Eli?
Yes.
The whole point is it can control people.
Right.
Those words can put a lot of control
Yeah.
on
That was a good
people.
movie.
That was a great movie. That's one of Denzel's best movies.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I love
A
it.
lot of underrated. A lot of people haven't seen it.
Yeah.
What?
And I- like,
Yeah,
that's
a
the
lot
thing. Like,
You got sleeping on fucking Book of Eli.
I love spiritual talks. I love when people talk about different. I wear a crystal for Christ's sakes. And
Yeah.
I don't have it on me, but usually I'm always wearing one. Like, you know, like, because if it makes you feel better for me having it, cool. I'm down. Well, all right, awesome. But what I believe might not be the same thing you believe, because
Yeah.
I believe in the earth. I believe that the earth is a living organism and a system in itself. And so I believe that if we did a better job of taking care of it, it would take care of us better. But we don't.
Yeah.
Instead, we pollute and destroy and constantly
We're
tear
talking
down.
about going to Mars.
And then
Let's go
now we're
make
just
that
like, let's go
better.
terraform another planet and fuck that up too. So it's like, instead of doing that, we could just fix all the money that we have, all the manpower that we have, and the machines we've built, and these giant things that we've done throughout human history could have been built to take better care of the place we live at. But instead, it's like, no, because your piece of land pollutes more, so I could pollute this much. And instead of doing this back and forth, and now we have 194 fucking degree summers, and they're still trying to tell us that global warming is not real. You can't bullshit me. At some point, I'm gonna look up and see the end. You know what I mean?
Well,
and
I
that's
would
kind of
say-
where I'm at now. And there's no God involved in that. That's all human error.
Did you
All
listen
of
to
it.
Neil deGrasse Tyson? He said it actually. He said, if we're going to go to Mars and make that a terraformed planet, that means we have the technology to fix ours.
Facts, but
That's
we
it.
don't. That's
Why-
the point.
But why? But you know why they would want to go Mars over fixing Earth?
Because it's too late.
Land.
It's land
Our
and
money.
ownership, and because it's too late. And, and the scientists said 10 years ago it's too late. And they asked, how can we fix it? They said, we can do it 15 years ago. But now it's too late. And they're like, no. There's got to be something that we could do. No, it's too late.
Well,
and
it wouldn't be a global
we've gotten to
warming,
the
it'd be a
point
global
where-
cooling probably.
But, so here's the thing. So first of all, it should be a bipartisan thing. Because here's the way I look at it, right? If scientists who have dedicated their entire life to studying Earth and studying, weather patterns and studying climate change as a whole are saying something's wrong, who the fuck is a politician to tell me different?
Well,
Because
that's the
you
problem.
don't
It
study
became political.
shit.
They turned it political.
So what I do is I look at the proof. First of all, I grew up in Texas. My entire life I've been here. I've been through 116 degree heat. I've been through 90s. I've been through when it's below zero.
Well, you've
right?
been here when it was the drought, right? The 10-year drought.
The drought. I've been through all of that shit, and I can tell you right now, this is the hottest summer I have ever dealt with.
And next year you're gonna say the same
And next year it's going to be hotter, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And the reason is not political. It's not any. It should be bipartisan. It's because the climate has changed.
Well, we talked about this.
Now, is it man-made or is it just something the Earth goes through? I don't know.
Remember
But
the
either
poles?
way-
The poles remember they stopped moving. The core stopped moving.
I think they said that wasn't 100% true.
Yeah, true.
I think they
okay.
came back and said, no,
Did
that's
they?
not a thing.
Oh, okay,
I've
okay.
seen
The
that
fact
too.
that Africa is splitting in half, the fact that the polar ice caps are melting, and the fact that Texas is getting way too fucking hot is all telling me that there is something going to change. Whether it be California falls off the map or Florida dies off
That's
or
fine.
whatever,
That's fine.
fuck whatever.
Just think about it.
It doesn't matter. The point is something is going to change. The only thing you can do is get ready
You know,
for it.
California. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but California is actually getting his first hurricane, and the last time they had a hurricane was like 1939 type shit. They're getting their first one, and they're like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
So why? How?
Well, El
is-
Nino is the thing that's not normal too. That happens like once every while too, right? And that's,
But the whole reason I brought up the whole climate thing is because when you ask people, they're like, oh well, that's what God wants. It's like, no, I don't think so. I think that's what we did, and you're just wanting somebody to blame.
Yeah.
It's easy when you have a good guy and a bad guy because now you can point the finger. You could say, oh, the devil did it.
Here's the
because
time where God comes.
if something's bad, the devil did it. If God really if God was really that almighty and all powerful and all knowing and wanted to change the way that we would do things, he would come out and change it. But he's not going to.
in which
it's
ways
the
though?
same way
like
that you're
mysticism
not,
or technology.
I think he would do it in mysticism. I think he would come out and say, okay, well, you guys have been fighting for way too long, and you guys have been doing the shit I told you not to do, so let me back it up. First of all, get off OnlyFans and get your ass in the fucking kitchen. If we're going back to the old days, and all the females are going to be like, holy shit. All right, girls, get your aprons.
And he's like, hey, listen, y'all. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
I'm obviously joking.
There's
I'm
too
obviously
much
joking.
there to go off.
I'm
of.
obviously joking.
I don't wanna dig into that.
But no, my point is this: like, God would come out and say, "This is what needs to be done in order to change what you've
Yeah.
already fucked up." But he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that because I don't think he's fucking real. That's my whole point.
don't know,
I
bro.
keep going back to that situation. It's not, if there is a deity or a god or whatever you want to call it, or an Allah, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, if there is one, he's not what you think he is.
Right. And my thing is,
How do you know he's not some cynical fuck that loves to watch reality shows? And this is the best fucking one, baby.
South Park showed that.
This is the best one.
We're like the world universe channel.
Got everything. We got the darkest of the fucking dark right here. We got the lightest of the light shit. We could watch whatever the fuck you want. This is a non-stop reality
What
show.
if Earth
That's the
is
US.
like Vegas for the universe?
That's what I'm
You know what I'm
saying.
saying? Like whatever happens in Earth, bro, stays in Earth.
I thought about that too. What if we're that planet that they only come to like fuck up some shit and go back and like,
hey, you guys want to go Earth tipping? Like
Yeah,
tipping?
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like you never know. Like, there's been too much shit that's been unexplained too. Because there's a spiritual side to this. There's been a lot of unexplained shit that's happened that nobody could really like put a pinpoint on and figure out.
Well, you got
The kids that go missing for days upon days, and wind up right in like 14 miles away in a spot they have no business being, perfectly safe. How the fuck you explain that? You know what I mean? When you have hikers that are experienced go out and die day one, and they don't know what the fuck happened. There's so much different shit, cryptids that have been spotted throughout history. Not even just now, but throughout history.
What about
you have UFOs and then like fucking ghosts and all sorts of crazy shit.
You hear
You
about
don't
the
know.
people that are driving and they end up like in the same town,
That
but it's
part.
different. Like
Yeah.
same thing. It's
Like
like they
time
different
travel,
universe, like a
paradox.
universe. Yeah, like a paradox. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
driving into a paradox of what they were.
Right.
And then
there's
driving out of it.
But see, the thing is when one person tells me, I can be skeptical. But when multiple people start saying the same thing, that's when you need to take a step back and look at it like, wait a minute, there might be something to this. But instead of doing that, we just, that's bullshit.
Well, I
And
think
move on.
I honestly, my belief is that we're in a data network. This is all data.
I think so too.
Because
I mean,
atoms
it
are
would make
not
more sense.
tangible. Like everything everyone says that we're actually not really. We're just molecules
We're made
pressed
of
together.
molecules. This desk is made of
Yeah.
molecules. But when you touch the molecules,
Yeah.
they don't go through each other, and scientists don't know why. So that would let you know that there's something beyond us, our comprehension of being able to understand. To the point where we would be like, what the fuck is going on here?
But
Like
the biggest thing,
it would literally make your brain melt to understand how this all this shit works out.
If we're in a computer, right? If we're designed,
Exactly.
that means that God can be real.
Exactly.
Because he was designed too.
Exactly.
But everything is designed. We could be like the simulation theory of being in a simulation from a simulation to a simulation to a simulation.
Right.
Where now our timeline really is a loop.
Exactly.
Because we only have a significant point to an end to where it starts all over again. Because
Yeah.
you can't just keep automating something. It has to eventually going to loop back.
Yeah, I mean that see, because like when you look at the Sims, right? You can make Sims do whatever you want, but then if you leave them alone, they do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing to watch. Have you ever played The Sims and you just create a house and then you create a family and you sit back and just watch what they do and the random shit they do? Like one of my Sims set his wife on fire and then went and buried the body and brought a side chick in, and I was like, hold on, but I was like, that's happened before in real life.
Yeah.
In our real life,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, it's interesting that a simulation would come up with that randomly.
Well, I mean, there's so much data and algorithm they put in there
You know what I
for
mean?
so many actions because,
Yeah.
each sim has like a 5,000 data points. So they can probably have an option in their head to pick through or,
Right.
algorithm
well, that
itself
sounds
through.
like a fucking human though.
Well, that's what I'm saying is.
So also in the Sims, they took a lot of the stuff off the algorithm and some of the coding to where you can't do certain things. Like you can't fuck a dog in there.
Yeah.
You can't touch children, but here you can. See what I'm saying? So the fact that those things were taken out shows that we built something that we understood was fucked up. So we took it out of the game as,
like how
as
we
a human
can't breathe
species as a
underwater.
whole.
We can't breathe in space.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a rules, there's laws.
Right. There's laws that we abide by. So we put those things into the
So you're saying,
things that we play.
Let's just say we are the Sims, and the guy who created us, probably in his reality or dimension, whatever, they can breathe in space. They can do all this stuff. Or
No, what I'm saying is we are a computer game inside of a computer game inside of a computer game. Each computer game had gotten its own self so smart that it created its own computer game
Because
inside
they
of a
did that in
computer
The
game.
Sims.
oh, okay,
So it's like
The
it's a
Sims
sim
had
making a simulation to
The
making a
Sims
simulation.
had games you could play in the game.
okay, yeah.
And then in that game, games you could play in the game.
Once
and then so on
simulation
so forth.
and AI has become so big now, like you have the point to where you have AI, Chat GPT, all
Yeah.
these different programs that are literally, it's going to be a point to where they're going to be NPCs inside of a server for us to go dive into, and that's going to be our afterlife. because we're so afraid of physically dying and losing any chance of that one thing happening or non-existence that we're going to plug ourselves into a matrix in I'd say about 50 to 100 years.
So here's ChatGPT right here as a perfect example, right? And if I could tell it to do anything and it'll do it. So if I go up to messengers right now and watch, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Write a 4-paragraph essay about comedy structure. And then watch. There you go.
Hey, ask ChatGPT if we're in a simulation. Some of the shit that you can get with
And that's an
ChatGPT.
It's an app. It's a free app that you can get on Apple, and this is exactly what it did. So it wrote a 4-paragraph essay about comedy structure can be quite insightful, and it just goes on and on and on. Better than I could have ever wrote it. And it's crazy because when you do stuff like this, you look at it like, oh, that's cool technology, but what is behind that? Like, who's behind it? And then, like, there's so much different stuff
It's a big
behind
ass
that we
server
don't
brain
know.
that's just pulling off of every data source it could ever pull off of, every grammar
And
source it could ever
that's
pull off of.
fucking crazy to me. Like, AI is insane.
This shit can write you a movie script based on a
It
premise.
did. I posted it on Facebook. I was like, write me a movie script about a pterodactyl falling in love with a fish. And it fucking did it. And it was a real, like, I was actually reading it like, this is fucking interesting. Like, he was like, where's part 2?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it does shit that we could never do in a million years.
Well,
Are we in
it
a
can,
simulation?
but it takes longer time for us to process it than it does that. That's why Elon Musk is working on NeuraLink. NeuraLink is going to open our broadband, like our bandwidth from technology, going to open us, like make it wider. It's almost like having a third brainwave. So how it's still going to start first is going to be kind of cheesy because it's be like, now I can mentally turn the lights off, turn the lights on. I can mentally turn my oven on. I can mentally turn the TV on, PlayStation on. I can do all these things where I have data access because I'm hooked to the network now.
Right.
I have a higher bandwidth to the network, and it's in my brain.
Yeah,
And secondly, parts. Now I can control robotic hands, arms, feet, legs. People that have amputees or any kind of mental disorders. You know, people that are paralyzed. Guess what? Fuck paralyzation anymore, because now they can produce a new brainwave. I watched all this shit about. I love Elon Musk, by the way.
Yeah, I talk about Neuralink.
Yeah, the Neuralink, dude. Like, it literally can get people to start walking again because it can. There's disconnection between the brain and the spine, right?
Right.
It can make a whole new wave.
Yeah, a
to
whole new
send those
connection.
Signals.
Damn.
To get you to move again.
That's the easy stuff, right? Now you go into, like, how you saying ChatGPT, right? Like, what's inside of that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you go deeper than that, right? Well, if I have a broadband now to the internet, to the whole network, servers and shit like this, between my head and a phone, all that's next now is just going to sleep. Putting the physical body to sleep and keeping the consciousness awake. You're talking about Play Ready 1 / neural dives.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that'd be dope.
But it's here. It's literally
right
here now.
And I'm talking about next 50 to 100 years, we're going to have allowable consciousness to be downloaded onto servers so we can feel like we're still alive. So we don't ever die.
To answer your question, when I asked it, are we in a server? It said exploring the concept of whether we are in a simulation. Did I say server?
Simulation.
Sorry. Exploring the concept of whether we are in a simulation requires extensive discussion, and it involves addressing philosophical, scientific, and technological perspectives. But some believe it's plausible due to advancements in simulation technology and philosophical arguments, which is what we just talked about, while others consider it to be speculative. Additionally, discussing potential evidence and counterarguments would require a more in-depth analysis. Overall, it's a complex topic that goes beyond a few sentences.
You have to think above it. You have to think out of the box.
So
That's the whole
basically
point.
what it did, it gave you the political answer.
Well, it gave you the answer going like, hey, if you're really going to talk about this, make sure you can think.
Yeah, that part.
That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
Make sure you're not a politician.
Make sure your eyes aren't closed to the concept.
Make sure you have no money behind you to be able to
Yeah.
influence your fucking decision on our lives.
So if we're in a simulation, guys, let's go GTA the fuck out of this world right now.
I'm good.
Fucking gang, I'm about to go kill
What was, that,
everybody.
what was that movie that what's the name was in when it was all a game? The other guy, wasn't that it?
No.
No, new
Because
guy.
it was the new guy.
The new guy.
Blue
Ryan
shirt
Reynolds,
guy.
yeah. Blue shirt guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it had Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan
in it.
Reynolds, blue shirt guy. It was like pretty much like an NPC that they had
That
to put an
figure-
algorithm.
Yeah.
So
I
he
had a
was
brain fart.
built.
Right.
So in that game, he was built to be different.
Yeah.
Because he was the back door because they had stolen the whole server to this other game, and then he just kind of masked over it, made this game that made millions, and he fucked the guy out of his money.
Yeah.
So he built this guy to be the other guy.
Well, it was AI. It was
It was
artificial.
AI.
It's once again
Yeah.
going
and
into
he
AI.
became conscious, and one day was just like, I want to know what something else is, and he like put on these glasses and saw this whole game going on, and then he ends up playing the game, and he becomes real big because they're trying to figure out who he is, but he's really an AI,
Yeah.
and no one knew. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
stuff
that.
like that. That's what we're talking
Then they end
about.
up
It's
making
fucking
their
crazy.
own world. And
And then they find.
Well,
yeah,
you
they
know the
destroyed that
law
one.
of things, right? If you can imagine it, you can create it.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing. If you can think about it, it can be done.
Hmm.
That's like Murphy's Law, right? That's technically Murphy's Law, right?
Kind of, sort of.
In
Anything
a
that
way.
can't happen will happen. So anything you can think of will happen
Can be created.
or can be created. Yeah.
If it can be imagined, it can be created. Like that's where you get to these points of like if it's like old school stuff, like old retro sci-fi. Look at what they were building then, and look where we're at now. Cell phones.
Yeah.
We're portrayed. Touch screens were portrayed. Fucking just 3D HUDs were portrayed.
Speaking of, did you ever hear about that that wavelength that scientists have discovered that will let you see ghosts?
You talking about the portal?
It's not a portal. No, not a portal. It's an actual like I want to say sound. It's a really high pitched sound that some pipes will make that will make people see things that aren't there. And
Talking about EMF, right? EMF readings, if the levels are too high, people
no, it's
like
not even
get
EMF.
nauseous.
It's just you'd have to look it up, but it's like a thing that shows or not shows. It's something that we hear and our brain will like kind of go crazy for a minute and it like sees things that aren't there, like ghosts or whatever. And they're trying to say that due to old pipes and the way that they definitely create this frequency, and that's why you're seeing ghosts of your eyes.
Well, that's what they do with EMF reading. Like, you ever watch the ghost hunter shows? Like, they say
I've
that the
seen
EMF readings are too high.
But
you
I'm
going to
be honest with you, ghost hunting shows are fucking fake.
Oh, absolutely.
Every single one of them. And the thing is
We're
if you
gonna
want to
prove
believe
it.
if you want to believe it, you can. That's fine. We'll be at Goatman's Bridge. You know what I'm saying? October 31st. So
15th.
Are we doing the 15th? I have a show on the 15th.
Oh, okay. We can date it any other time.
16th.
16th. But just
We'll
as
do it
long as I figured we'd do it before Halloween. Release it before Halloween.
Yeah, that's fine. But either way, like that'll show. Like we're gonna go show with an open mind. You know,
Open
with a
mind.
bunch of comics.
A bunch of comics. my
gonna be
oldest
hilarious.
son's coming, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Sweet.
he wants to be there. He's all into the ghost shit. So he's like,
so he's gonna be the one that's like, we're gonna freak the fuck out of.
nah, he's not. He's gonna be the weird one. He'll probably be the one that gets possessed and like kills us all. Like,
Oh,
he's
sweet.
that style.
Okay, that's gonna be fun.
It's great.
So we're bringing a school shooter, and also I'll just play.
Dude, it's bad that my daughter says that's what everyone calls him in high school.
Oh, dear
On the
God.
bus.
Ugh.
They're like, yeah, like, they're looking at him like he's the school shooter. I'm like, man, I mean, if he did snap, he would be the one. Because he's so quiet. He's a reserved kid.
Yeah.
He's just quiet.
It's always the quiet ones. But anyway,
Sorry,
no, but
I love you.
because that's the thing, like that I can understand where that would come from. Like I can see how because frequencies do fuck with you. Like,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of different frequencies that CIA has been doing frequency shit for years. They've been studying it on the human brain and seeing what certain frequencies do, and that whole frequencies opening portals thing. I wasn't really
saw
buying
that
into
video,
Yeah, I
right?
saw it, and then the guy disappeared, like this whole thing, and I was like, nah, that's too much going with that I don't know about. So
Yeah,
I'll keep an open mind about it, but I'm not gonna just say that's it. Yep, there you go.
I just want it to happen already. I want the cool shit to happen.
because the thing I don't know. The thing is like people have tried to replicate it but couldn't.
Well, I just want aliens to come down. I just want this shit to happen. Like, can we have something cool happen?
that part, yeah.
Like galaxies
Because
uniting.
the government's already admitted that they have UFOs.
Can
and
we
they have
fuck
alien
them?
bodies.
Like,
They've
can we
already
fuck them?
admitted
That's what I really
that
need to
too.
know.
And,
Is there
can we
orifices
fuck
still?
'em?
Yeah, I mean, do they
That was
want
my
to fuck?
joke.
Are they down?
That was my joke,
I'm not
dude.
just saying. I'm just saying. We're there.
That was mine. Yeah.
Oh,
but-
you're the only one that wants to fuck aliens? Okay.
No, but I did that. I did that at that open mic. Remember?
I remember.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
It was a callback, but kiss my ass. He's like, that's mine. I'm like, that's fine. It's yours. I just wanted a fucking alien.
I just wanted to see it.
I want to do it too. Yeah, like I'll do tag team. Eiffel Tower. Yeah, we'll hold hands.
High five. Tag team.
Fred, 3 of us. There's 3 holes. Yay.
But I don't know. I look at everything with an open mind. I don't really shut out anything.
That's good.
But if I have a thought and an idea that goes with something like that, like religion or science or whatever, I'm gonna express it.
Guys, I'm gonna take my shirt off for y'all.
Yeah, it's getting
Look at
fucking
them
hot.
titties, baby. Yeah,
Dude,
them
this
motherfuckers
is
are
fucking
nice.
hairy
Look at
titties.
them bad boys.
Oh man.
But anyway, that's my thought on all that. And I know you probably didn't want it, but that's what you got.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I love this. This is a great episode, man. This is fun.
That's a lot of fun, but that's kind of how I look at life.
Yeah. This is less like
Everything-
comedy. This is more like real.
Yeah, comics can be real too.
Yeah,
sometimes.
can we? Can
Maybe.
we? It's always a joke at the end.
It really
Right.
is.
There's always a but. There's always
really
a
is.
but at the
Where's the
end.
really is.
punchline?
Yeah, it's always a punchline. Comes with it. But anyway, and you have any shout outs? You have any shows coming up? Or anything?
I have the show at Holton Theater coming up September 14th.
Right, I'll be at that one.
Yeah, and obviously this guy's going to get booked more than me right now. Doing great though, by the way. Don't sleep on Chris Tadlock on his comedy. Y'all should definitely give him a follow and shout out. But I forgot to shout my shit out. Shawn Santos on Instagram, TikTok. You can always look me up on YouTube and check me out on Whattup World and check me up out on Cruxiatu. Past that, man, it's been a great episode. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man,
it.
I appreciate you coming out. Anything else, Freddie?
No. I don't have any.
We're all hot, sweaty.
Bro, under this jersey's a fucking mess right
Oh,
now.
Dude,
Dude,
my
I'm
balls
in the
stink
same
so
boat.
bad right now. I know
It's so hot. It's ridiculous.
and I was
That's
gonna-
why I'm getting the fuck out
Yeah.
of here.
Yeah.
All right, peace. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down on the bottom below. Also, if you're new, make sure you hit the notification bell so you're notified anytime new videos upload.
And also, don't forget to hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. And for exclusive content, we also have a website, which will be in the description below.
Yep.
All right.
All right, we're out of here.
Peace.